Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. Today we're going to take a quick look at the different types of pellet pistols available in Canada and weigh some of their pros and cons. Whether you're a beginner who is thinking about getting your first pellet pistol or a seasoned airgun enthusiast, I hope that this video will provide you either with some new knowledge or a little entertainment. First off, let's take a look at the variety of pellet pistols available on the market. I've got a selection here that represents the main types you'll come across, and while this isn't an exhaustive selection, I think it's a good representation of what's currently available in Canada. That being said, there are many cool models that I don't currently own, so be sure to do some searching and see what else is out there. You'll also notice that many of these aren't stock, like the Snopeak PP750 and Diana Bandit, which are now both set up as carbines, but are still considered pistols. We will touch on that a little bit later in the video. Each of these models offers a unique shooting experience thanks to the different features they offer and propulsion methods they use. Now, let's break down the different propulsion methods, starting with PCP or pre-charged pneumatics. Models like the Diana Bandit, Rexamex RPA, and Snopeak PP750 fall into this category. PCP pistols are powered by compressed air stored in a cylinder on the gun. The pros, they can offer much more potential power than other propulsion methods, which in Canada isn't much of a consideration, but it's still worth mentioning. They can also provide great velocity consistency through regulation and are awesome choices for target shooting and small game hunting due to their lack of recoil. The downsides, they require an external power source like a hand pump, scuba tank, or high pressure compressor, which can add to the cost and hassle. But realistically, you can fill pistols to 250 bar fairly easily with a hand pump due to the small air cylinders, and even with owning a compressor, I will often top up my air pistols by hand. Many PCP pistols have magazines, which is nice, but another negative is the fill probes they use. There really isn't a standardized size, and if you buy several different guns, you end up having to keep track of all the little fill probes. Moving on to CO2, this is the most common propulsion method. Found in models like the Diana Chaser, Artemis CP1M, Crossman 2240, and many pellet shooting replicas like this Glock 17 Gen 5, as well as many different replica revolvers. CO2 pistols are powered by 12-gram CO2 cartridges. They are easy to use, with many having magazines, and some even providing semi-automatic firing, but their performance can vary with temperature, and the cost of CO2 cartridges can add up over time. A side note about replicas, yes, they're often not terribly accurate, but that's okay. Usually people buy them as training aids or fun plinkers that mimic the firearms they love, and it's a joy to shoot the pellet variations over the steel BB ones due to the ricochet potential of steel BBs, and they definitely are more accurate than their steel BB equivalents. That brings us to multi-pump pneumatics. The Crossman 1322 is a classic example of these pistols. These pistols require you to pump them up multiple times to build up air pressure before each shot. They are versatile and allow you to control the power of your shots, but manual pumping can be a workout, especially during extended shooting sessions. However, in my opinion, that's a fair trade for having an onboard power plant. As for single-stroke pneumatic pistols, the Beeman P17 represents this category pretty well. With these pistols, a single pump compresses the air needed for just one shot. They're simple, reliable, and don't require any additional power source like CO2 or a pump. But they're generally less powerful than other types, and often single shot only. Last but not least, we have the spring piston type, like the Diana P5. These work by compressing a spring that propels a piston when you pull the trigger. They have the potential to be very consistent, and the self-contained power is nice, but the recoil can be a bit harsher compared to other methods, making them a bit harder to shoot accurately for some users. Now, let's talk about something just as important as choosing the right pistol, the legal side of things. In Canada, air pistols that shoot pellets or BBs under 500 feet per second are generally considered unregulated firearms. However, if your air pistol is modified and shoots above 500 feet per second and has a muzzle energy greater than 4.2 foot-pounds, it becomes classified as a restricted firearm. This means that you need to follow all the same rules as you would for a firearm handgun, including registration and safe storage. So, for most people, it's important to keep your air pistols under that 500 feet per second limit, especially considering that firearm handguns are currently essentially prohibited in Canada. If you modify an air pistol to shoot over 500 feet per second, you could potentially land yourself in a pretty serious situation. Another important point about modifying your air pistol: adding a stock or a longer barrel doesn't turn your pistol into a rifle under Canadian law. According to the Criminal Code of Canada, a firearm remains a pistol unless it's designed or redesigned by the manufacturer to be fired from the shoulder. So feel free to customize within the limits, but always be mindful of the law. So, there you have it, a relatively comprehensive look at the different types of pellet pistols available in Canada, with a few of the pros and cons, and some key legal points to keep in mind. Whether you're just getting started or looking to add to your collection, I hope this video has helped you understand what's out there and what might be the best fit for you. If you have any questions about pellet pistols in Canada, be sure to drop them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer as thoroughly as I can. Be sure to like this video or subscribe to the channel if that's the sort of thing you're into. Thanks for watching and have a great day.